At 2:17 a.m., Daniel Carter was about to drive home when he noticed a young woman sleeping beneath the broken awning outside his office building. She was curled up on a piece of cardboard, using an old backpack as a pillow. Her clothes were soaked from the rain, and one trembling hand was tightly wrapped around a small white envelope. Daniel almost drove past her. He had a long day. He was exhausted, angry at the world, and desperate to get home. But something made him stop. He stepped out of his car and walked toward her. "Miss, are you okay?" The woman suddenly opened her eyes. She looked terrified. But instead of asking for money, she held out the envelope and whispered, "Please, if you find him, give him this." Daniel looked at the envelope. There was only one name written on it. His own. Daniel Carter. He froze. The woman had never met him before. At least, that was what he thought. Before we continue, if you believe one small act of kindness can change someone's entire life, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe for more emotional stories. Daniel stared at the envelope for several seconds before taking it. "Where did you get my name?" The woman looked away. "I was told to find you." "By whom?" She didn't answer. Daniel crouched beside her. "What's your name?" After a long silence, she whispered, "Emily." Daniel opened the envelope. Inside was a photograph. The photograph showed a little boy standing beside a woman in front of an old blue house. Daniel immediately recognized the boy. It was him. His heart stopped. He hadn't seen that photograph in more than 20 years. The woman beside him was his mother. His mother had died when Daniel was 12. His hands began to shake. "Where did you get this?" Emily looked at him with tears in her eyes. "My mother gave it to me." Daniel stared at her. "Who is your mother?" Emily swallowed. "Sarah Carter." Daniel felt the world disappear beneath his feet. Sarah Carter was his older sister. The sister he had been told died 20 years ago. The sister whose disappearance had destroyed his family. The sister everyone believed was gone forever. Daniel slowly stood up. "That's impossible." Emily shook her head. "No. It isn't." For 20 years, Daniel had believed his sister was dead. But now a homeless girl was standing in front of him, holding a photograph from his childhood and claiming to be his niece. Daniel didn't know whether to believe her. But there was one thing he knew. He couldn't leave her alone in the rain. He took her to a nearby hotel and paid for a room. Emily refused at first. "I don't want your money." "This isn't charity," Daniel said. "It's a room. You're staying here tonight." She looked at him suspiciously. "Why do you care?" Daniel didn't know how to answer. Maybe because she had his sister's eyes. Maybe because some part of him had spent 20 years waiting for an impossible miracle. Or maybe because he knew what it felt like to lose everything. The next morning, Daniel returned to the hotel. Emily was sitting near the window. She hadn't slept. Daniel placed a cup of coffee on the table. "Tell me everything." Emily finally began. She explained that her mother, Sarah, had raised her alone. They moved constantly. Different cities. Different apartments. Different jobs. Sarah never talked about Daniel. But whenever Emily asked about her family, Sarah always said the same thing. "Someday, when you're old enough, find Daniel Carter." Then, 6 months earlier, Sarah became seriously ill. Before she died, she gave Emily the envelope. "She told me that if anything happened to her, I had to find you." Daniel stared at the floor. "Why didn't she contact me herself?" Emily's voice became quiet. "She tried." Daniel looked up. "What?" "She sent letters." "How many?" 7. Daniel felt his chest tighten. I never received any letters. Emily reached into her backpack and pulled out a folded piece of paper. This was the last one. Daniel opened it. It was written in a handwriting he recognized instantly. Sarah's handwriting. Daniel. If you are reading this, then Emily finally found you. I don't know if you will forgive me. I don't even know if I deserve your forgiveness. But there is something you need to know. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because Dad told me I had to. Daniel's hands went cold. Their father had always told him Sarah ran away. He had blamed her for abandoning the family. But the letter suggested something completely different. Sarah continued. Dad said if I stayed, he would make sure you never had a future. I believed him. I was 17. I was scared. So I left. I wanted to come back for you. Every year, I tried. But every time I got close, something happened. I am sorry. Daniel stopped reading. He couldn't breathe. For 20 years, he had hated his sister for leaving him. And all those years, she had apparently been trying to come home. Daniel spent the next several days searching through old family records. He found old addresses, old letters, old photographs. And eventually, something shocking. A storage box belonging to his father. Inside was a bundle of unopened letters. All addressed to Daniel. All written by Sarah. Daniel sat on the floor and read every single one. Some were written when he was 13. Some when he was 16. Some when he graduated college. One had been written on his wedding day. Sarah had been watching from a distance. She had never stopped loving him. Daniel cried harder than he had cried since childhood. But the biggest mystery remained. Why had Sarah been homeless? Why had Emily ended up sleeping outside his office? And why had Sarah been so desperate for Daniel to find her daughter? The answer came from the final letter. Sarah had discovered that her illness was terminal. She knew she didn't have much time. But she also knew something else. Emily had been targeted by someone who wanted control of a trust fund Sarah had inherited from their father. Daniel was stunned. His father had secretly created a trust for Sarah. But after Sarah disappeared, the money was placed into an account for her future children. Emily was the legal beneficiary. Someone had spent years trying to find Emily. And now they knew she had found Daniel. That night, Daniel received an anonymous message. Stop looking into Sarah Carter. Daniel stared at the screen. A second message arrived. Some people are better left forgotten. For the first time, Daniel realized this wasn't just a family mystery. Someone was watching them. He immediately moved Emily to a secure location and contacted a lawyer. The investigation revealed that a former business associate of their father had been manipulating the trust for years. Sarah had discovered the fraud. That was why she had disappeared. She had spent years protecting Emily. And when she became sick, she knew the only person she could trust was the little brother she had been forced to leave behind. Daniel eventually recovered the trust and secured Emily's future. But he didn't stop there. He opened the old building where his office had been and transformed the unused ground floor into a community shelter. He named it Sarah's house. It became a place where people without homes could sleep safely, eat warm meals, learn new skills, and get help finding work. Emily became the first person to volunteer there. Months later, Daniel stood outside the building watching dozens of people walk through its doors. Emily came beside him. You know, she said softly, Mom always told me that kindness is never wasted. Daniel smiled sadly. I wish I had known her better. Emily looked at him. You do now. Daniel looked at the photograph of his mother, Sarah, and himself that he had framed inside the building. For 20 years, he thought his sister had abandoned him. But the truth was far more painful. She had loved him enough to disappear. She had sacrificed her own happiness to protect her daughter. And one rainy night, when Daniel almost drove past a homeless stranger, fate gave him one final chance to find his family. Sometimes the person standing in front of you isn't asking for money. They're asking for someone to notice them. And sometimes, the smallest decision, to stop,